Driver of the cab that's going to be mine jumps out of his cab, points at me in the front of the line, and shouts, "Are you ready for the best cab ride of your life?" Yeah, I guess so. Get in! I'm afraid now, all right?
Imagine that you're at a party and you don't know anyone really at the party, but over in the corner there's someone telling a great story. We gravitate to that individual. We are attracted to compelling narrative. And so one of the tools that we need to use, whether it's with our people on the floor of our stores, whether it's through our websites, whether it's through our connections with social media, is to find ways to tell compelling stories.
Jumps in the driver's seat, turns around to me in the back and says, "Mr. McKain?" I said, "Yeah, but how'd you know my name?" "Saw it on your luggage, figured I might as well use it." Said, "I'm Taxi Terry." Great, I got the motivational cab driver, right?
So that creates this fundamental question: is what you are doing, individually, organizationally, so distinctive that customers, even your colleagues, become that interested in what you do?
Hi, I'm Scott McKain. I'm the author of the book Iconic and a professional speaker. You know, my favorite thing about what I get a chance to do is that you can make an impact on an organization. There are companies and leaders that correspond with me constantly that they've taken some of the advice from my books and my speeches and employ that in their organization, and they have lower turnover in employees and higher profitability. So the opportunity to make a contribution is really the best part of what I get a chance to do.
Well, I'm going to suggest it simply means that great isn't good enough to grow in today's changing marketplace. Man, you've been great, but now you have to take it to a better standard, because change is all around us. So if what you're doing today is what you did yesterday, it's a recipe for failure in today's world. When you can make it about that customer, you know them so well. You know their home. You know their desires. You know their wants. When you know them, when you make it personal, then it naturally makes it emotional. My first book on distinction and how do you stand out in the marketplace came out over a decade ago. And I'll reveal both solid research and specific tactics on what you and your team need to do in sales and in customer service to deliver that ultimate experience and truly stand out and create distinction in your marketplace. How can customers tell a difference between us and the competition? Why would they choose us as opposed to the competition?
If you can't define not only your brand, but even if you have a meeting in your company, if you can't define what that meeting is about in a statement that is 6 seconds or less, you haven't been clear enough.
She says, "Oh, that is so great. For you see, sir, Hertz can always get another car. We could never get another Mr. McKain." I didn't mean to hit him. He stopped, and at that instant, I became a Hertz customer forever, for life, right? Avis is €1 cheaper. I don't care.
Can any individual make a difference? And may I suggest to you that is the only way a difference is made. In other words, professional services firms do not get better. Professionals in professional service get better. Nothing gets better until you and I get better. For you see, what bothered people, what scared people, is what we've already talked about today. And that is, it's not change that influences us, it's the unknown that accompanies change. But you have the skills, you have the talent, you have the ability to deliver. It's just a matter of what you'll do next. Will you build that bridge between where you are to where the future resides? Are you willing to take the skills, the ability, the talent, the relationships, everything that you've done so far, will you commit to moving across the bridge from the present to the future? That is the challenge before you today.
While the pandemic has seemingly changed everything, one of the things that hasn't changed is the reason why it's important to meet. Your people need to know how to create distinction, to give yourself a competitive advantage in this volatile marketplace. The ultimate customer experience is more important than it's ever been because customers now need that type of engagement with you more than ever. And selling distinctly is as important as it can possibly be because building relationships, not just closing transactions, is critical for your sales team at this particular time. So why would you choose me for your virtual meeting? I'm going to suggest there's 3 important reasons. Number 1 is equipment and staff. Because so much of my business was already virtual and already global, we've invested in not only state-of-the-art equipment, but I have a full-time person that does nothing but help us deliver virtual events and recorded content for meetings. So we're already in place. Second is experience. I got to tell you, it's a whole different ballgame to communicate to a camera than it is to stand on stage and communicate to a live audience. For over a decade, I was a globally syndicated television commentator. I've been a television news anchor in one of the United States' 25 largest television markets. That experience has taught me how to connect with your group in a different way than what most speakers are accustomed to delivering. But third, and most importantly, is content. Maybe you saw that recently American Express sent out a newsletter to the owners of the Platinum Card, business owners of the Platinum Card, saying that there were 6 books that would enable you to innovate through the current crisis. And I'm very fortunate that Iconic, my latest book, was one of those 6. It's new material that's critical for this changing time. I've got the content to be able to deliver immediately for your teams in this challenging time. And we can vary that either from a live presentation to a recorded presentation I make exclusively for your group, where we include some signature stories in front of a live audience from a previous event, or even just Q&A to pick our brain and to talk about what today's challenges mean for your organization. We can create the format, we can create the delivery, we can customize the content. We can do what it takes to make certain that your virtual event really is about the reason we have meetings to begin with: to learn, to connect, to expand our ability to grow. I'm Scott McKain. I look forward to working together with you on your next event of any kind.
Hi, I'm Scott McKain. For the past several years, I've been privileged to be one of the top keynote speakers in the world. I've had the chance to speak in all 50 states, 30 countries, before some of the most incredible events that you can imagine. However, prior to that, I was a broadcaster. I was a globally syndicated commentator on the entertainment scene and a television news anchor in one of the 25 largest markets in the United States with a CBS affiliate. So what I've learned from this combination of experience in both the meetings industry and broadcasting is post-pandemic meetings are going to be a big change. Look, there's one thing that's not going to change. Why we have meetings, it's still exactly the same. Your people want to be educated, they want to be informed, they want to be inspired, they want to be motivated, they need to be trained. That why isn't changing. But we must come to grips with the new how demanded by post-pandemic events. Recently, we conducted a survey of those who will be attending meetings in this new environment. In our survey, we uncovered some really surprising results in terms of what the participants of your next event are really looking for and what they are not looking for. What would not motivate them or inspire them, move them to attend your next event. I'll share the results of that study in its entirety in this course. In addition, we're going to talk about the questions that you have, and there were many of them. If we continue to think the way that we used to think about meetings, we're going to be off base with what today's meeting participant is really looking for. And that's why I created this program especially for you. Whether you're a meeting professional or a professional speaker, we need to change how we think so we can change how we meet. This course will cover not only the basics in terms of the changing perceptual nature of what meetings need to move to. It's also going to change in terms of the performance, in terms of how you structure your agenda, in terms of how you connect with today's attendee, in terms of how you coach your internal speakers to connect with the audience in a new and different way that will allow you to serve your attendees more productively, more effectively, more dynamically.